What's up, guys? Your boy Nick here at the Dead End Podcast, where it's always Halloween. I got a special guest here. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Mandy from Ancient Al Tarot. I am a medium and tarot reader, just giving my input on the show.
So we're doing something a little different because usually it's me and my brother Caleb, but what we're going to be talking about today is something a little, I don't know, I want to say special. I had hopes for it. We're going to be talking about 28 Days Haunted, Netflix series. If you like the paranormal, if you like, I guess, anything that is a bit not of the ordinary, you may want to, I don't know, say check it out. You'll have your opinions when we're done with it. So for people that don't know, what pretty much pushed this show, I guess, was what you would say the Ed and Lorraine Warren vibes of it, where pretty much if you don't know 28 days, they say with you're in the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds, it weakens in 28 days. So, I mean, do you got anything to add to that?
It's an interesting theory. I would like to dove into that theory more, and I wish that I had a different scenario in which people were in something for 28 days that I could, check out and see, because, yeah, that would definitely help.
Yeah. I mean, there's gonna be spoiler alerts, so if you haven't seen it, then I mean, oh well. But I think they said they got their theory from the same time, like that was the same time the Lutz family was in the iconic Amityville Horror House, so that's where they kind of got it. I mean, it's pretty much they bring in groups of people to 3 destinations. They're blindfolded, so they don't know where they're going, and one of them was Captain Grant's Inn in Preston, Connecticut. The other one was the Lumber Baron Inn in Denver, Colorado. And the last one was the Madison Dry Goods in Madison, North Carolina. Which one do you want to start with, Mandy?
Man, I'm gonna start. I'm not saving the best for last. I'm gonna do the best one first. That would be the dry goods one in North Carolina. I believe I spoke to you after that because I'd watched that show, the first episode, and I fell asleep at a friend's house, and I actually had like sleep paralysis when I fell asleep watching it, and it kind of fucking freaked me out because that happens sometimes, but it doesn't happen often. And so I told you, I was like, man, I don't know about this show. I had sleep paralysis. Yeah. And then I go back and I watched the rest of the episodes, and they weren't as as intense or whatever as the first one. I would say definitely the first episode's probably the best, to be honest. But I was definitely picking up what they had in that location. I could pick up what she was picking up.
That for sure. I think the Madison Dry Goods was my favorite one as far as what was there. I remember I told you the same time we were talking that I could not sleep for like 2 days. I watched the whole thing drunk, and that probably was not the best thing to do because I was like vividly felt like I was there, but I wasn't. And yeah, it just felt very weird, creepy the whole night. And I mean, long story short, I mean, it's only a few episodes in if you want to watch it, but there's a family there. I mean, not to cut it off, but we have who was it? It was Jeremy and Brandy, right?
Yeah, Jeremy and Brandy.
And so Jeremy is a demonologist, and Brandy is, I believe, 4th generation.
I think so. She's definitely a psychic medium. She's definitely legit. I, as one myself, can tell when people are and when they're not. And the 2 girls in that show were absolutely 100% legit. I could pick up on everything that she was picking up kind of as she was picking up on it. And it's funny you say about the drinking thing, because like when I notice when I drink, I channel better. So it may be that type of deal too. And I think I was drinking when I fell asleep at my friend. So like maybe that was why we're channeling it so much.
Well, I'm not drinking while I watch these anymore. That's
right. Me either. I watched the rest of the episodes like completely sober. So I don't know. I didn't get really much off those. But But then again, for example, like they found, what was it? The one where they went in that tunnel and they so happened to find like a piece of paper that was stuck
Oh,
in the crack that no one else had found for all
yeah,
these years. But on the episode, they found it, you know? So it was
yeah,
just like, come on, you know, if they wouldn't have thrown that extra stuff in there, I think it would have been so much better because those locations were legitimately haunted and they
yeah.
had
So
good investigators.
and I'm glad you brought that up because there was two of them. I mean, the other two places, there was moments where like, so for me, my biggest fear is, and as people watch, they're gonna know I am terrified of mirrors. I've had experiences with mirrors. I hate them. And so I believe it was Amy that said it. She was like, I don't do mirrors, what was scribing?
Yes, they were trying to get her to strike, and they were like pressuring her to do that. Okay, even
Yeah.
me with all that I do, I read cards. There's certain things I don't mess with. I don't mess with Ouija boards,
Yeah.
and I don't do the mirror scrying. And I thought it was really kind of fucked up. They're trying to make her do
Yeah.
that. Like, why? If I was her, I would have been like, why don't you go do that? You can get the same thing from it, you know?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I was that was the last episode I watched, and I was like, I'm going to bed because my fear of mirrors is it's a lot. And so I felt like her fear when she was like, I don't know what's looking at me from the other side. And I was like, yep, I'm turning this off. We're gonna go. I was like, that's my cue. And I mean, it was kind of, I don't want to say I liked how they fixed it, I guess, for that the lumber baron in where Shane took over and was like, you know what, I need to do more because he does say that he feels he has psychic abilities, which I guess I'm one of those people I can relate to him. I know it runs in my family. I know there's moments where I see stuff, I hear stuff. I mean, been told like by people, "Hey, you speak like fluent Latin when you're asleep," and I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but whatever, cool. And so when he did I believe it was he did where he submerged himself in water, and then that's when he started to get, I guess, visions and that was the one thing where it was like, oh, here we go. But then it led into, like you said, him finding a random letter in a crack and where it's been investigated countless times over the years. And I was just kind of like, this is what you led me to. Like you built me up here and
Yeah.
then you gave me something that nobody could find. It was literally right here on this wall and nobody could find it.
Yeah.
And
For
then
all those years.
yeah. And then what did you think of the third house? I guess what was it called? The Captain Granton.
So that one, that's the one that kind of looked like the Amityville horse or horse house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I felt. So all of them have some kind of spirits. I believe that's the one that I personally feel like it had poltergeist activity in. I
Yeah.
remember one of the places I really feel like it had poltergeist activity. Another place was just like a regular haunting, and then the feed store or whatever was that was demonic as well. That wasn't just
Yeah.
entities, that was demonic. But for some reason, my guides won't let me fuck with poltergeist stuff. I really don't know why. I need to do more research into it and see what it's about and why they won't let me. But like I've went on ghost tours before where there was poltergeist houses and whatever's in me wouldn't even let me walk on the sidewalk. So
Yeah.
I couldn't even like my guides won't even let me tap into that
Yeah.
anything more than just to know that it is poltergeist activity.
Yeah. No, I mean the dry goods one, for me when I guess when I dibble dabble into stuff, I tend to go down the rabbit hole of stuff. I'm like, ooh, all right, let's check this out. And we'll have a crazy dream and let's start going down the rabbit hole stuff. That that dry goods one where I believe that was the one where they said it was a demonic possession of the father. Is that the one you're talking
Yes.
about? Yeah, where
Yes,
the
and it absolutely was. It 100% was. Like I saw that before she said it, and that was 100% legit happening to her.
yeah.
Like Brandy's the real deal.
I remember there was a moment where what's it called? Jeremy told her to like lay in the coffin and pretend she was like dead. And they had a service and she said she felt everybody around her. And it was that moment where she said, he's looking at me like he's watching, he's right above me. I was just like, yo, okay. That's when I got chills and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I gotta keep watching this. And and it's weird because I know for like me, I'm not able to do what you do. I'm not able to tap into that as of right now, I guess. I guess I need to do what Shane did and lay in some water and start doing some stuff. But
There are ways.
yeah, and so it's gonna be for sure something I need to check out because it's something I've always been intrigued in. And I mean, we've had talks about this. It's something that I've seen my family in and all that stuff. And I guess it's just one way to protect yourself. But with that place right there, I mean, they went through like literally hell, I guess, and back with both of them. I mean, Brandy was at her breaking point countless times, and I wasn't mad at her. She was like, "I don't want to bring anything back because who's gonna help me in the end of it?"
Yeah. I
And
I would have left if I was her. Honestly, I don't know
yeah,
if I would have stayed. Like she toughed it out.
yeah, and I mean, honestly, I wasn't mad. I was like, okay. And then Jeremy's, I guess, the demonologist, and he got the brunt of it too. And it was kind of that moment where I believe Brandy was asking them like what happened and what the father was saying and all those moments. And then it ended up coming down to he was acting like the way the father did back in the day. And then that's kind of when I was like, this is adding up now. Like,
Yeah. And that's something that would happen too. Like all of that is that house, that haunted location was the most legitimate to me.
yeah.
Everything was adding up. Like that's how it would go down, you know?
Yeah. It is funny because it seems like the other two houses started off like, oh, these are gonna be the good ones. And the
Yeah.
dry goods kind of drags on. It's like, okay, we're trying to but then you realize what they're going up against compared to the other ones, and you're like, now I see it was I mean, they were getting hammered spiritually, mentally, physically, and it was just very interesting. How did you feel about the Captain Granson whenever they found I believe it was the little what was
Pentagram.
it? Yeah, the pentagram in the ground with
How did I feel about that? So it is very possible for a situation as such to happen. I mean, you could very well. I have dreams about things all the time. I have dreams about things before they happen sometimes. So I've known stuff. There's no way I should have known. So yeah, that's possible. But the way that it happened there, the guy's like, "Oh, I had a dream, and the ghost pointed this way," and then they get their metal detector, and then they go find the thing, and they're like, "Oh, we found this pentagram that's been here for like." I don't know, 200 years or however long, you know? And
yeah.
it's just, again, like, I think that was added to give it an extra effect. But for me, it just like killed it because like they already had enough going on. So it just kind of ruined it for me, to be honest. I don't think that that was legit. I don't.
Yeah, I felt there's moments. I think that's why I like this dissecting what we thought was real. I mean, because you can tell there was some stuff like, okay, that's probably real. Like getting touched under the bed, cool, yeah, that's probably real. You know. And then, like you said, there's stuff that I know they add for dramatic effect, and oh, well, let's lead them here, and it's just like I'm just like, okay, if you would have, I feel like people that are into the paranormal, people that are into this type of things, you don't really care. I don't need to be lured to believe stuff. If you just give me the truth, I'll see between the lines, and there we go.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
I think that's what I love about, I guess, this type of things. I mean, the three places you can actually visit. Um, I think that's kind of cool because it gives you an opportunity to get your own thing. I mean, they probably won't let you stay for 28 days. I don't know if I'd want to visit the dry goods now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I might visit for a day and then leave.
Yeah.
So,
It's something I'm for sure I'm not going by myself if I go. And I don't know, North Carolina, you may see me one day, but as of this moment, yeah, I don't want to go there for anything. It's just a crazy story of I believe Charlie Lawson murdered his wife, 6 of his 7 children, and then he murdered himself.
and you know, I
And
honestly feel like that entity kind of preys on men. He'll take over the men, which is with like they seem to have patterns, you know.
yeah,
And so if you went, you'd probably be a lot more susceptible to it than I would,
yeah.
because you're a man. So that's what the thing goes for. So, yep.
And how did you? I mean, we're just gonna be jumping around here. Jeremy, did you see the ending when Jeremy was like the very end? And for me, it's like, okay, everything y'all have done. now you give me this where Brandy's like, well, at least the poltergeist is gone. He just looks at the camera. And I was like, like, are you mocking me or are you
Yes.
mocking? Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So that at the end, I was like, either he's a good actor
Yeah.
or he is legitimately something is stuck with him. And if
Yeah.
something is stuck with him leaving that location is not going to stop that. He's going to have to do plenty more things to get rid of it. Because if you're there that long and dealing with it and it's that attached to you, it probably traveled and left with him. So I'm hoping for his sake that it was just really good acting at the end. But I do think that something was messing with him. Like, but to the effect of what it looked like, I'm not sure. But it did seem pretty legitimate though. Like with how he was acting, he was sleeping all the time, and he had like all the signs of it. But
Yeah.
I wasn't there, so it's like hard to tell, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know he was getting like anger problems a lot. He was getting mad at Brandy a lot, and it was. I think I got most of the chills like when I said when she was on the camera and talking, and they're like, "Oh, these are the signs of the dad," and I'm like, "No, that's what he has. Cool,
Yeah.
awesome." And I'm stuck with him. Amazing. And I believe she told like producers, she's like, "I'm scared to be around him right now. Like I don't want to be alone with him." And they were like, "Yeah, no, we understand." It's like I don't think you do. Like y'all are outside watching on monitors. I'm inside with whatever and him now, and it's just it's kind of I did like how there's always like that thing where it's science, then it's spiritual, and then I guess technology. And they kind of did that with I believe it was the house the Captain Granton where they had it was Aaron and Nick, right? That were like the brothers, I believe brother-in-law, and they were the tech guys or and
Yeah.
all
Then
that.
they had Sean, and then I remember I think Sean was the one that kept connecting to Adelaide.
Yeah.
And no offense to Sean if you ever so happen to see this, but I don't know about that. I think like he kind of believes what he's saying, but I don't know that I do. And there's a point on there where Nick is like, a ghost didn't write that on the mirror. He did, you know. So he
Yeah.
calls him out for it straight up. But I think I'd have to side with Nick on that one.
And they even asked them, they're like, "Who wrote it?" And they're like, "Sean." I was like, "I don't know, man. These ghosts ain't got nothing to lie about, and you're over here trying to prove your point." And I like it though. I always get in arguments with people about like, "Oh yeah, spirits." Like, no, it's the way that the sun. I was like, okay, whatever, dude. Like, or the technology side, and I'm like, we can agree to disagree on this.
Yes,
Um,
I deal with that all the time, especially like being a medium and stuff. And I know stuff that I should know, and some people don't. They don't understand it, so they either
yeah.
don't believe it or they think it comes from a dark place. But I just kind of let them, like you said, agree to disagree. Let them think what they think.
Yeah. I think like we spend our energy on so many other things. It's kind of like I don't have time to. If you don't believe me, that's fine.
Yeah,
Um,
like I'm not trying to convince you. You go ahead.
yeah,
You know, that kind
yeah,
of thing.
for sure. And I think for me, like, I mean, I'm a huge Ed and Lorraine Warren fan. Like, I just love a lot of their things. Not speaking of like the Annabelle, all that, but even their other files of like just certain little things they did, stuff they found. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to go and look at these things like by myself and stuff, but it's interesting. It's one of those things where it's like, how can I discredit these things when there's so much that has been said, happened over years on years. I mean, in I feel like in every culture there's something of the boogeyman, there's something of, different things of that you hear, see, and it adds up in different ways and so that's why I had high hopes for this show. It's not
Yeah, I did.
terrible. I won't say it's terrible. It's something I for sure am glad I watched, I guess.
Yeah.
Um But will you be watching it again, I guess, at some point, or would you be watching a second season if it comes on?
I'll check out the second season and see. And I'm hopeful that because it is Ed and Lorraine's son-in-law, I think that is kind of running the operation,
Yeah,
and so that's what kind of drew me in on that. I was excited about it, and I wish that I would have got to hear more from him. You know, like if he was more involved with what's going on. And you know, I'm hopeful that they don't just mysteriously find something in the wall or in a desk that no one's found for a couple hundred years, you know, stuff like that. If they could just keep it more real, I would watch like every season they put out. That would be great. So we'll have to see what they come up with. But they did have some good investigators. Like I really wish they would have put Amy with Brandy and Jeremy, you know, like that would have been like an A team right there. But
Yeah, I feel like there's stuff you could do, like say put all three of them together and go and invest in like a new place, and then bring in like I get what they were trying to do is bring in all aspects type of things, but I feel like the people that are gonna watch this are gonna be people that believe. So give me something that I can grasp on, and no offense, Sean, but there was moments like you said, I was like, I don't really care about this house anymore. Like the other two houses, you got one demon over here, and there's another one dealing with a mass killer, and I'm dealing with Adelaide.
yeah, exactly. That I lost interest in that one pretty quickly.
Yeah. I guess what else would you add to this? I mean, is there anything else you want to?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I'll just be anxious to see what they put out next, you know?
Yeah.
Because I would definitely check it out, especially since it's the Warrens' son-in-law. I think they can have some really good content if they play their cards right.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Speaking of cards, where can people find you at? I know I already subscribed to you, so.
So you guys can find me. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And so I am Ancient Altero 13 on YouTube. So you can just type in Ancient Altero and it should pull me up. And then my Facebook and Instagram are both Ancient Wisdom Oracle for certain purposes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm under. I'm Ancient Altero on TikTok as well. But yeah, you guys can find me on there, and I go between. Sometimes I will be doing personal readings, and sometimes I just do I just post like free general readings, which I always do those. But sometimes I even have to take energetic breaks from doing personal readings because it is very draining to do so.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys can definitely find me on there, and if you want a reading, the information will be on there, and you guys can email me.
I'll have all your info in the description below. So, yeah, man, anybody that is interested, trust me, I will not be bullshitting y'all. If y'all do know me, I do not like BS when it comes to this stuff here. I like to go straight to it. And I mean, if you weren't legit, I would have been like, no, we don't need to do it. But I know we've had talks. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, she knows a lot. She knew what I was going to bring up already. So that's
yeah, usually I scare the hell out of people. They're like, how do you know that? Are you following me? Like,
yeah.
But I'm actually going to give out a free reading. When I hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, I'm going to give out a free reading. So if you guys are interested in getting in on that, entering in for the free reading, just go to one of my videos and just comment, subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel and comment subscribed. And then I will pick a winner at the end of this month, probably about the new year, and give away a free reading for you guys.
Well, one of you lucky winners will get it. I'm more likely gonna pay for it just because I need a reading. I haven't had one in like 3 years or so. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. And see, I have a lot of people asking me if I do them for free. If Spirit leads me to do them for free, I will. But so many people ask me all the time, and so I literally don't have enough time in the day. So that is why I charge. But if I'm led to do one,
Yeah. And I think most people that know about readings, it's a job. It's draining. It drains you spiritually, mentally, physically, and that's why I feel like if somebody's going out of their way to give me not just their time, but their effort and their spiritual mindset, then I should pay you for the job you're doing, because there's no telling what you're gonna read, find, anything. So it's one of those interesting things.
It is. It's definitely taxing, and a bit more taxing than say like my day job. Like I kind of right now, I'm at my job, Man Basics in Houston, It's a pretty cool barber shop if you guys are in the area. It's Man Basic Speakeasy. But yeah, it is very taxing on the energy for the zero for sure.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, y'all go check her out, man. Check out her page. It's really good stuff if you're into this. We're gonna be doing more of this for sure. I'm sure. I mean, I like picking brains with different people. I have my opinions. We've talked about this show. We've talked about other spiritual stuff. And I think it's just good for a community of people that believe in I guess the paranormal, we'll say, to have a safe space, because like you said, there are people that don't believe it. There are people that kind of discredit it and look at it as, oh, bad, or I've been told like, oh, hey, every time you come over we hear creepy stuff, or people stuff follows you. I'm like, oh, my bad. Like, and they're like, oh, wait, for real? I was like, yeah, I mean, that's been my whole life. Like, I don't know, like, I'm
I
used to
also
it.
dealt with that same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I completely get it.
Yeah, but man, this was fun. 28 Days, you can find it on Netflix. Go check it out. It's Christmas holidays, perfect time. It's always Halloween. That being said, you got anything else to add?
Not really. I think I'm spent.
All right. Well, that
But
being
yeah.
said, man, y'all make sure to subscribe. Go subscribe to her page. Go get your free tarot card readings. If not, go pay for them right now and get them done. And we're out. Later.
How much I'm working for this? I swear my dreams are too important.